8 lost medieval tools that still outsmart modern survival gear. Some of the smartest survival tools ever made didn't come from factories or labs. They came from dirt floors, forge fires, and hard-earned medieval experience. Long before electricity or mass production, people built tools that had to work every single day, in bad weather, under pressure, and with no backup plan. And here's the unsettling truth. Several of those tools were so effective that we quietly abandoned them, not because they failed, but because modern life made us forget why they mattered. This isn't nostalgia. This is about lost efficiency, lost resilience, and tools that still solve problems better than many modern alternatives. Let's get straight into it. The medieval fire striker. Fire was life, not convenience, not comfort, survival. Medieval fire strikers were simple pieces of high-carbon steel shaped to shower sparks when struck against flint. No fuel canisters, no moving parts, no expiration date. As long as you had steel, stone and dry tinder, you had fire. Here's the clever part. These strikers were designed for control, not flash. They produced consistent sparks that could be directed exactly where needed. Modern ferro rods throw bigger sparks, but they burn through material fast, and honestly, they fail when lost or cracked. A medieval striker could last generations. The foot-powered pole lathe. Before electric motors, woodworkers used their own legs. The pole lathe was a springy sapling tied overhead, a foot treadle below, and a rope wrapped around the workpiece. Press down, the wood spins toward you. Release, it spins back. Simple rhythm, total control. This tool allowed medieval craftsmen to turn bowls, tool handles and pegs anywhere there was a tree and rope. No grid, no workshop, just muscle memory. The survival advantage is massive. You can fabricate replacement parts in the field, repair shelters and shape precision components without electricity. Modern survival kits rarely consider fabrication. Medieval ones did, because they had to. The broad axe. This wasn't a weapon. It was a precision instrument. The broad axe had a wide, flat blade offset from the handle, designed for squaring logs into beams. Medieval builders used it to turn raw timber into structural components fast. What makes it revolutionary even today is efficiency. With the right technique, one person could process large logs into usable building material without sawmills or power tools. In long-term survival or off-grid living, this tool turns forest into homes. Modern chainsaws are faster, but when fuel runs out, the broad axe keeps building. The hand auger. Drilling holes seems basic until you don't have electricity. Medieval hand augers were spiral bits with cross handles, designed to bore clean holes through wood with surprising speed. Peg joints, mortise construction, trap mechanisms, water channels, all depended on precise holes. The brilliance lies in torque and control. The spiral pulls itself into the wood. No batteries, no overheating, no noise. In survival situations, silent construction matters. You can build furniture, structures and tools without advertising your presence. That's not romantic. That's tactical. The billhook. Half knife, half axe, all purpose. The billhook was the backbone of medieval land management. clearing brush, trimming branches, splitting kindling, shaping stakes. One tool, endless uses. Its curved blade did something modern tools often ignore. It pulled material toward the user, increasing control and reducing wasted energy. In survival terms, this saves calories. When food is limited, energy efficiency becomes survival strategy. The billhook excelled at low-effort productivity. That's why versions of it are still quietly used by foresters today. The scythe. You know, the scythe wasn't really about speed, it was about endurance. When used properly, it could harvest grain or grass for hours on end without exhaustion. Medieval farmers, well, they fed entire communities with it. No engines, no noise, no fuel. Here's what modern people tend to miss. The scythe actually uses body mechanics, not just brute force. It glides, it slices, it turns repetitive labour into a sustainable motion. In a survival context, this really matters. You can clear land, harvest food, and maintain your space without just burning out. That's long-term thinking, something medieval tools were designed around, really out of necessity. The medieval fish weir tools. Fishing wasn't always about rods and hooks. Medieval communities built fish weirs using wooden stakes, woven panels, and, pretty precise placement in rivers. The tools they used to shape and install these structures were basic, but honestly, the system was genius. Once built, the weir worked continuously. Fish funneled in with the current. No constant effort required. That's passive survival. Modern survival advice often focuses on active hunting, but medieval tools supported systems that worked while people slept. That shift in thinking is revolutionary even now. The hand mill quern. Grinding grain by hand sounds primitive until you understand control. The quern was 2 stones, shaped to grind efficiently without destroying nutrients. Unlike modern high-speed mills, it didn't overheat grain or strip it of value. The survival lesson here is independence. With a quern, stored grain becomes food anywhere, anytime. No factories, no supply chains, just calories on demand. Medieval people understood food security deeply, and this tool reflects that mindset. In a crisis, control over food processing is as important as access to food itself. Medieval tools weren't crude. In fact, they were really optimized for a world where failure could mean starvation, exposure, or even death. Back then, people prioritized durability, repairability, and efficiency. Modern tools, they often prioritize convenience and speed, but honestly, those advantages can vanish pretty fast when systems fail. For survival enthusiasts, these tools offer something rare. It's self-reliance without dependency. Skills instead of subscriptions, systems instead of shortcuts. And that's the real lesson medieval technology still teaches us. Here's the interesting part. None of these tools require rare materials or advanced manufacturing. They can be rebuilt, relearned, passed down. That's why they lasted for centuries, and honestly, why they still deserve a place in modern survival thinking. If this kind of knowledge matters to you, stay connected with Legacy of Survival. Like the video if you found something useful. Share it with someone who values real-world skills over gadgets. And, subscribe, because history still has a lot to teach us, especially when the lights go out.